Hey guys, welcome back to Gringo Barbecue. I'm your host Noah, and recently I've been getting asked what seasonings I prefer, and so today I want to give you my top 5 favorite seasonings. Let's dive into it.
Barbecue and tequila.
All right. It is seasoning time. Now, guys, you can see from my cabinet up here, I have a whole plethora of seasonings. Seasoning is a big part of barbecue, and honestly, one of the fun parts of barbecue. But only 5 could make my top 5 list. And so I wanted to give you my top 5 favorite seasonings. These are not necessarily my top 5 most used seasonings, so let's make that very clear, but my top 5 most favorite. So let's dive into it. Number 1. We got Chef Marito's steak and meat seasoning. This is a carne asada seasoning. Guys, I have not been able to find this anywhere, and it actually annoys me. So this was from a Mexican market in San Marcos, where we used to live outside of San Diego. And this was at a Mexican market there. Guys, this is by far the best carne asada seasoning I've ever had. I've tried other carne asada seasonings, hoping I could find one here in Michigan, and I just can't. So Chef Marito's I use sparingly because it's so good, but on a carne asada or when I'm doing like flank steak tacos, there is nothing better than this. It is so insanely good. I'm gonna show you guys just the inside of this. It's almost got that like taco powder looking seasoning to it, but just really highlights the meat. I also threw this in our queso video that we did, the brisket queso. Any sort of beef, this just enhances. Highly recommend. So Chef Marito, I don't use this that often because I'm not making, flank steak tacos or doing the queso all the time. But when I have flank steak tacos that don't have Chef Marito's, I definitely notice. So that is coming in at number 5. Now, guys, let me preface: just because one is 5 and one is number 1, these are literally my 5 favorite seasonings of an entire cabinet. So this is number 4, Honey Hog. Honey Hog from Meat Church. Now, guys, let me make this clear. This is my wife's favorite seasoning. People that have gotten into barbecue that are some of my close friends, when they go to buy seasoning, this is their favorite seasoning. Most of my friends, Honey Hog is their favorite seasoning. It is delicious. This is, any sort of pork that you're doing, people love Honey Hog. I personally really like it on jalapeno poppers. I think it's okay on ribs, but I expect a little bit more out of my pork or pulled pork. This is gonna be a little bit of a sweeter seasoning, which is why it's called Honey Hog. So it's not necessarily pepper forward or super salty. I wouldn't call it like sweet like a glaze. Like, it's definitely still a seasoning, but it's called Honey Hog for a reason. So you can take a peek at the inside there of that. This is an awesome seasoning though. Honey Hog's fantastic for anything pork. So go ahead and set that to the side. Number 4, I do really like Honey Hog. So I just was prefacing that even though this is number 4 on my list, this would be number 1 on a whole bunch of my friends' lists. So, all right, next up. This is a newer seasoning to me. This is Goldie's Barbecue Brisket Rub. This is a newer seasoning and it's already in my top 5. Guys, I've made the best brisket I've ever made with this seasoning. So if you haven't checked out my pellet brisket video, I'll make sure to link that at the end. That was, I was filming and I thankfully was filming like the method I always use, but it so happened that was literally the best brisket I've ever made. So highly recommend checking that out. Goldie's was the rub that I used for this. So quick little context. Goldie's Barbecue is based out of Texas. Texas Monthly is a barbecue list that they release every 5 years. And it's of the top 50 barbecue joints in Texas. Goldie's won number 1. And so I've watched a whole bunch of videos on them. They've released their rub to the public. I just got this on Amazon, but as you guys can see from the camera here, very pepper forward. Like, I opened this up and coarse pepper came out as is. So highly recommend Goldie's rub if you're doing a brisket. It's my favorite. All right, next up, number 2. Man, between number 2 and number 1 was extremely hard, but we have Meat Church's Blanco. So Meat Church making a second appearance in the video. You can't go wrong with their seasonings. They're great. But Meat Church's Blanco, this is our do-it-all seasoning. And I just saw recently, this is Meat Church's number 1 seasoning that they sell. And it's one of their newer ones. Blanco, I was using Meat Church seasoning far before Blanco came out. But Blanco is one of their newer ones. This is basically anytime that it says salt or pepper in something, we use Blanco. So I think it's got garlic powder, onion powder, and it says butter flavor in there too. But guys, Meat Church's Blanco, whether it's chicken or whether it's even steak, or if it's mashed potatoes or vegetables, literally anything that says salt or pepper, we throw Blanco on. So this is our do-it-all seasoning. This is actually my wife's favorite seasoning. This and Honey Hog are her two favorites. So set that back here. Highly recommend Blanco. All right, number one. Number one is number one for a reason. And let me show you guys what it is. My top seasoning, my favorite seasoning, Rolling Bones Perpetual Pork. Rolling Bones Perpetual Pork. Rolling Bones is one of my favorite Instagram accounts. I think the guy's, he's just a G. I would love to hang out with him and barbecue with him someday. But Rolling Bones Perpetual Pork, this is number one for a reason. So you guys can see this color here. It's got that like heavy paprika look to it, that nice red. The reason this is number one on my list is for a couple reasons. One, I love pulled pork and I love good ribs. And so I have tested a whole bunch of rib seasonings and a whole bunch of like pork forward seasonings. Every time I have one, like whether it's Honey Hog or some of the other ones I've tested, it just doesn't have as much flavor. For whatever reason, this Perpetual Pork, you can definitely see a few like pepper flakes in there, so it definitely has some pepper in there. But I think it's the perfect balance between like sweet and like savory and the pepperness. It's not too sweet and it's definitely not too savory. This is my absolute favorite for pork. They do make a Perpetual Beef. That was one of my honorable mentions because if I didn't, before Goldie's, I was using that. But Goldie's my favorite brisket rub. But Perpetual Pork, guys, every time I deviate and try a different pork rub, I'm always like, it's not quite as good as Perpetual Pork. And when you're barbecuing, a lot of your test runs and when you're trying different methods or whatnot is gonna be with pork because it's a little bit of a cheaper cut. So Perpetual Pork is my favorite. Guys, those are my top 5 favorite seasonings. I do have a shorter video of this on my Instagram, gringo_barbecue. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. It obviously helps us out and continues to encourage us to do what we're doing. So guys, these are my top 5 favorite seasonings. You can't go wrong with any of them. They could have all been interchanged. So appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, bye.